Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Launch Global here on Global TV. If today is your first time of joining us here on Launch Global, so here we basically talk about meals and then the importance of that food you eat every other day. So we're not only focused on what is happening in Nigeria, we're also looking out for other countries, what the kind of meal they have, the kind of traditional meal they have, and of course, if you're a traveler or you've been there or you're planning on going there, you should also pick interest in their kind of meal. So today we're going to be talking about Kenya traditional meal, and then we're going to give you some of the ideas, some of the options, and those kind of food. You know, one good thing is this food are the normal food we eat like every other time, just that the names are different, the spices that are used are entirely different. And if there's something good about Kenya is the kind of spices they have. Like they have varieties of spices which they use to prepare their meal, and that is what makes their meal spectacular. So we all know that Kenya is a country in Africa, which is in the eastern part of Africa, and it is known for its wildlife safari, beautiful landscape, and of course, delicious food. The dishes in Kenya are diverse and are a mix of ethnicity and tradition. So today I plan to, I was like, okay, when I was getting to actually know the food about Kenya, I'm like, okay, why not visit there? You know, it's always good when you travel and enjoy varieties of meal, that I'm not just focusing on the normal swallow I know in Nigeria, the normal rice and beans and all of that. Like, you know, you have to just check other meal. That's when you get to know how interesting their tradition and of course their cultures are, because most of the food we eat, they are literally attached to our culture and our traditional meal. Like here in Nigeria, when you're eating from the Igbos, like when you are from the Igbo part of Nigeria, it's like, we know them with a delicious kind of meal, especially their soups and all of that. When you're talking about Akwa Ibom, it's like when there's a particular food, you know where to channel that food and all of that. And then these are dishes that I want to try, because genuinely when I go to Kenya, because you should, it's Africa, easy to travel. When you want to travel, you don't have to always travel to Dubai, go to Maldives and all of that. You can just go to African countries, get to know about their cultures and tradition, you know. And Kenyan foods are a great example of majestic and ancient African cuisine. In addition to famous wildlife and impressive athletic accomplishments, Kenyan dishes are in other treasure of this East African country. And when you are done with ubiquitous dishes from well-known and much hyped countries, let's refer your gastronomic knowledge with interesting Kenyan food. And today we're going to learn and show you that it will be an amazing experience. So hop on now. Kenyan food usually have a very strong flavor due to their high amount of spices, and you know that I said that earlier. So first, today we are going to be talking about bhajias, and bhajias are basically potato fritters. You know, it's just normal potato, you know, and then they just make it entirely different. And this potato-based snack is immensely popular in Kenya and its neighboring country, which is Tanzania. But why do many Google searches say that this meal is Indian delicacy? And it is because the Indian workers brought it to Kenya when they worked on the railway construction taking place in the country in the late 19th century. The sublime flavor of bhajias explain why it quickly took hold of Kenya. People cook it by dipping slices of potato into a mixture of gram flour and strong spices such as cumin and chili powder. The last step to deep frying is to deep fry them in oil until golden brown. Needless to say, you should enjoy bhajias when it's hot and crisp. Some tomato or chili sauce will make it a nice appetizer or snack. And then, just as I said earlier, the Indian railway workers actually brought it to Kenya, but it is the local people who cherished it. There's the local people in Kenya who cherish it and keep it alive. And then that's why when you go to Kenya, it's one meal that's it's just literally everywhere. So we're going to be talking about muturu, mutura, and then mutura means sausage basically. That's why I said it's just something that you all know, we all know, I know, you know. It's just for you to know what is it about. If you go to a Kenyan restaurant or maybe a restaurant like, oh, these are Kenyan meals and all of that, and then you see mutura and you're like, what is this? I don't even know it. And then you're skeptical and you're scared to even try because you don't know, maybe it might run your stomach, maybe it might make you feel uncomfortable. That is why we are here on Lunch Global to make it so clear to you, explain to you, tell you what it's made up of. So mutura means sausage, and you can't paint a scene of Kenyan street food without mutura. It is an affordable and heavily seasoned variety of sausage. Mutura vendors usually operate at night. People make this sausage by stuffing cow or goat intestine with great meats, garlic, spices, and fresh animal blood. That's right. You are not mistaken, you know. Mutura is a blood sausage, so it's an acquired taste that many eaters need time to adjust to. But once you get used to the spicy, smoky, and intense flavor of mutura, you will find it very agreeable appetizer to go with soup or salad or a cup of beer. And there's something about this particular meal, you know. I know that in the US, it's like they literally banned it. I don't know. There are a lot of controversies. I think I read a story of some man who has like a sport, just like the way they do like suya and all of that. And then it happens that, I don't know what happened, some certain people ate it and they lost their lives and all of that. But trust me, most times when you're doing this thing, you know, it's safer when you have your space, you are in your home, and when you try to go to reliable restaurants. This is a meal that is literally in the streets of Kenya. You get it all the time. Just like you're in Nigeria, you go to suya spot to get suya. It's just the same thing. It's like that is the suya you eat. So it's very known, and I feel when you go to Kenya, just try it. Forget about the negative story attached to it. You know, sometimes there are negative stories, but that doesn't mean that is the fact about the food or about the meal. So when you find your way in Kenya, just try your best and give it a try. This is chipsi mayai, and then it is omelette and fried French fries, literally. Chipsi mayai omelette, we know what omelette is, and then with French fries. So what can you eat with French fries? Perhaps the French fries or Belgians, since they also claim credit for the fries, can never imagine pairing crunchy, salty, fatty fries and butter omelets. But Kenyans can, and they have the mouth-watering combo chipsi mayai to prove it. Break some eggs, cook them with spices, and serve with French fries. And chakumbari chipsi mayai is as simple as that, but no foodie are safe from the crunchiness or the mayai and all of that. So it is a very popular food, especially in this, like it's like a street food and all of that. So, and a side dish also in both Kenya and in the neighbor Tanzania. So it's like most times when you see this food here, when you get it here, for instance, probably you are in Edo. Let me just make an instance like that. You know that there are neighboring states around there where you know that, okay, when you're going to get this thing here, you might get it in Delta State. So it's literally like that. These are neighboring countries, and you know, sometimes you have meals like in Nigeria, there are places that are so popular that you can just get them literally everywhere. So when the idea is for you to know them, when you are anywhere around those areas or those countries, those vicinities, get to try them. So this is ugali. Ugali means corn meal, basically. And we know what corn is. We know what corn meal is. I know that, what do they, sorry, I can't even remember the name. But then there's this food they make, literally you use it with pepper soup, and then you use it with corn meal. Trust me, I'll try my best to remember, and then when I remember, I'll come back and still remind you about it. So ugali or corn meal is a dish eaten across Africa, but in Kenya, it achieves superstar status by boiling corn flour or millet or sorghum flour flour into a dough-like consistency. Kenyans have a versatile dish to go with all kinds of food: salad, meat, chicken, fish, and so on and so forth. A typical Kenyan breakfast dish consists of ugali with porridge and chai. That's like tea. Millions of Kenyans grow up with the nutrients of ugali flowing in their veins. It isn't an overstatement to think ugali is the national dish of the country or the hallmark of its culture. Good ugali doesn't stick to the finger and can be shaped into an edible spoon to scoop your food with. When you know, the former president visited Kenya, he actually grew fond of it and all of that, so he enjoyed it. Then who are you? You should always give it a try. You know, when you never can tell when you try something, that's when you get to enjoy it. And then next we're going to be talking about mukimo. Mukimo is mashed potatoes and beans. You know, I said it earlier. These are things that, you know, we have them. In Nigeria, we have potatoes, we have beans, we have different varieties of potatoes. You have the sweet potato, you have the Irish potato. So you can decide to use any of the potato to make it the way you want it. And then it is mashed potato and beans. Starting as a tribal dish, mukimo is currently the shared passion of the entire nation in Kenya. It is an ancient specialty of the Kikuyu tribe, Kenya's largest ethnic minority that lives in the highlands of central Kenya. Mashing is the word to describe mukimo. The Kikuyu people make it by mashing potatoes with green peas, corn, and any greens available together. That's why we saw that the color is green and you're wondering, is it avocado they used to make it? Like, it's literally you use vegetable to cook and mash everything together. That's why it has a green color. The mixture is later cooked in water with some salt to taste. Mukimo may sound simple, but the tribe usually cook it for special occasions like weddings and funeral. On ordinary days, however, you can consume it as a tasty and healthy side dish with salad, grilled steaks and stew as well. So it's varieties. You can eat it with stew, you can eat it with steaks, you can eat it with, you don't just, you know, the way you mix, sometimes you want to eat your rice with vegetable, you can eat your rice with stew, you can eat your rice with chicken curry sauce and all of that. You can as well do the same thing. And then next we're going to be looking at mahindi choma. So this is roasted corn. We know roasted corn, like you find any spot. It's like one of my favorite snack. Even though I don't really like my corn roasted, I prefer it boiled because I feel it's just easier to just eat it out and all of that. But then this is just roasted corn. And by some estimates, a Kenyan consumes 98 kilograms of corn annually on average. You can see how important this staple food is to Kenyan cuisine. So it's no wonder that mahindi choma, or roasted corn, is one of the most popular dishes in the country. It is ridiculously easy to prepare this dish. Kenyans usually roast peeled corn cobs over an open charcoal fire and garnish them with a rub of chili or lime salt. Hold the cob by the husk and you can enjoy it warm. Delicious roasted corn kernels, and yeah. So mahindi choma is also available at many food boards and charts in Kenya as well. People love this cheap and flavorful food. Kenyans eat it as a snack as well as a side dish with grilled steak. In Nigeria, we also eat corn, I think, as a snack because a lot of times people stop by it. When you see people going through the whole stress of the day, maybe after work, I am also fond of that. Sometimes I'll just want to look for where I can see corn and just buy it because you just want to snack on it and it's easy. It just I don't know, it will just make you feel so filled and then satisfied to a point. And sometimes when you're hungry, you know, the next thing you want to look out for, maybe you're in a spot where you see granules or you see corn, the next thing you want to go for is corn. So whether roasted or what, and it goes very well with seafood, you know. If you're a seafood fan, you know how corn, whether it's roasted or it's grilled or it's boiled, you know how it goes very, very well with seafood. So that is not only for the Kenyans. That's why sometimes just know the name. You know, everyone have their own culture, their tradition, how they call their meal. So your understanding of what that Africa and all of that, you know, so it's easier for you to survive eating that meal, you know, maybe because of the spices makes it different, but there are regular things we know and all of that. So this is Iriol. Iriol means merged vegetables, you know, merged vegetable. How do you merge vegetable? That means you just jam pack a lot of vegetables together and then you merge them and you make them food. Well, this is another variety of mashed potato and beans from the Kikuyu people. It can appear the same as mokimo, but there are several differences. The first disparity lies in their name. Mokimo means merging, while Iriol is simply food. In addition, Iriol includes githeri, a Kenyan dish of boiled corn and beans, but mokimo doesn't. Finally, people can mix ukiro with sautéed steak and gravy to create a scrumptious dish called nyama na iro. Oh my God. Okay. I'm not a Kenyan, you know, so don't judge me. So nyama na iro. Oh, I got it. I'm very sure people that are from Kenya are really proud of me. It's not easy for you to get somebody's language, you know. So maybe you should try you should try it as well. But the most important thing is for you to know about the dishes and then get to give them a try. You know, one thing I enjoy about this particular show is the fact that you can't just overemphasize eating, because you have to eat every day. You know, some people, you can argue with your screen, but trust me, there are people who, they don't necessarily have to eat food, but they want to just snack on literally everything around. Sometimes I personally eat like 5 times, because you just want to your mouth wants to chew. You feel very, very full, but you just want to try something. Have you been to a restaurant where you want to eat maybe rice or you want to eat pasta? For instance, still alive, Kenyans still alive and all of that. So it's food. You cannot die by eating, even though sometimes our system reacts to certain things. We have allergies and all of that, which is normal, but then you should give it a try. Don't just hold back and don't know anything. Please try and know, try and eat other people's food. Yeah. So next is the chapati, and chapati literally means flat bread. We know flat bread. Like I like the fact that I know flat bread a lot, because you know Indians, they like flat bread. They literally eat it with everything. So during its time as a British colony, Kenyans came under significant influence from India, another fellow subject. That's how chapati, a popular Kenyan unleavened flatbread, came about. Its shape and ingredients strongly suggested inspiration from the famous Indian bread roti. Chapati is made from kneaded wheat flour that people dived into small pads, roll each of them flat and fry them in oil until crisp and golden. Some cook and add more ingredients to the dough to enhance the flavor, such as carrots, onions, or pumpkins. Chapati is suitable for your everyday fare as well as special occasion, especially Christmas. You know, you can munch it on it alone with hot drink, or pair it with rich dishes for the main course. And then, because of time, we're going to take the last one. I just want you to give it a try, and you want to know more, trust me, you can send us message to ask more questions about this. Trust me, I am always available to feed you with all the interesting food you would like to try. You can even pick what you want us to talk about. If maybe tomorrow you want us to talk about food that is Ghanaian meal, or you want us to talk about food that is from Ivory Coast, you can just pick any of the African countries, and just for you, we're going to do exactly that, because all what we're trying to do here is for us to know other cultures. Let's just learn, because it's important. Knowledge can never be too much. We learn every other day. Don't just cook the regular thing, you know. Sometimes you style your dish, be creative, try and just do something. Now you're learning Kenyan meal. Imagine having that combo, mixing it up with your Nigerian style of cooking. Trust me, it's going to be something you're like, I am the inventor. I did it, I started it, and then other people learn from your experience, right? So next thing is kachumbari. Kachumbari, sorry. So it's tomatoes and onion salad. So literally this is salad. You know, when you're eating, you always need something to step down, something literally healthy, something to just keep your body moisturized and hydrated, because tomato is a very good source of nutrients and all of that. So a lot of Kenyan dishes are fatty, roasted, grilled food, or grassy, calorie-packed stew. To balance the amount of fat and meat, let me introduce you to kachumbari. So a Kenyan salad that will refresh your appetite and aid your digestion. This comprises fresh tomatoes, chopped onions, green chilies or red ones if you love spicy food, lemon juice, herbs, cucumber, and avocados. The last two are optional anyways. The salad doesn't contain mayonnaise, so it is fat-free. The refreshness of these veggies makes kachumbari extremely suitable for Samuel Joseph, your host on Lunch Global here on Global TV. Thank you for joining me, and try and join tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be super interesting. Thank you for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.